There you go. Feeder, just the way I'm feeling. XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. We've got a great show lined up this week, haven't we?
Go on, what have you got planned?
Well, I've got songs from David Bowie, Thin Lizzy, Gene, AC/DC, you heard Feeder there, you got, Smiths, all that. We got a great feature, a new feature. Spoke to Karl in the week, and we worked out a new feature where, people are gonna give him sort of like problems to solve. There could be scenarios, there could be management scenarios at work, you know, problem solving, things like that, organising things. He's a very good organiser, so I'll tell you what happened. He's dropping Do We Need Him because he's getting fed up with scientists. He thinks there's a conspiracy and they're getting together and they're never gonna lose an animal.
Right.
So he's just fed up with that. Rockbusters, we've got some great prizes.
Well, have you seen them yet?
No.
Be careful.
They're not gonna be great,
I just peeked in, and all I'm gonna say to you is, Fools and Horses Christmas Special?
Not the little one with the little car.
With the little car, yeah.
Brilliant. That is excellent. Karl, what have you got to say for yourself? Hold on, it was a rollover, wasn't it? Because you really mucked up Rockbusters last time. What was he doing? It was saying FP for the whole thing. No, FD you were saying, and it was Frida Payne.
Have you written the clues down this week? Because that seems like an obvious way to improve this.
Yeah, I'll write the clues
The week before he couldn't remember what the answer was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, you learn by your mistakes and that.
You don't.
Well.
So I'll give you a little taster. But we were having a pizza in a pizza establishment. When was it? Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah.
And he was going, I'm a good organiser, I'm a good problem solver. Give me any scenario, right? Obviously he didn't say scenario. And I went, okay then, so you're the manager of this place, and there's a couple there, elderly couple, they're about 60. They've had a lovely meal. He went, yeah, right. I went, but the gentleman, he's got a little bit of a heart condition. He takes a pill after his meal, as he should after meals. He's only taken Viagra.
Oh.
And now he's stuck in.
Wedged in?
Wedged in.
We've all been there.
It's gone, and it's stopping him getting out from the table.
Yeah.
So what would you do? He went, what? He's stuck in because of his dick? I went, yeah. He went, right. He said, I'd use the situation, I'd make cash. I said, you're not going anywhere, do you want a pudding?
Entrepreneurial, I like it, Karl.
And he went, so that's that sorted, I've got the job on that. Next, I went, okay. Another, you won't believe it. Next day, there's a little problem in the toilets. Two gay men were having sex and they got stuck in each other. Yeah, yeah. He went, right. I'd say, is it the same fella as yesterday with the Viagra? If so, why was he let in again? He was on the door.
Yeah.
I went, it's not, it's too different. He goes, right.
Does his wife know he's cheating on him?
Yeah. He went, right, I'd go down, I'd go, and then he went, oh, I'd say this isn't a restaurant problem, call an ambulance. Strictly speaking, not a restaurant problem, no.
But am I right?
Huh?
Am I right?
Well, I don't know.
Would you give me the job if say, like, you were the boss of that restaurant, and you...
Do you know what I like about this? At no point did he say, Gervais, why are you being so mental?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would someone get stuck because they took Viagra by mistake, and two people get stuck in each other?
But you've heard the stories from his past. That is a perfectly legitimate situation to find yourself in. If you grew up in his part of
What would you
Manchester.
do if there was two fellas with big heads and webbed feet, and they had a horse in a... Well, what I'd do is... What would you do? What did you do when you first saw them?
What, saw the kids lads with the big heads and
Yeah, yeah.
We should very quickly remind people, if they didn't listen to that particular show, they had webbed hands.
Yeah.
Did they, or webbed feet?
Well, they had webbed hands.
Right.
And big
and
heads.
enormous heads.
But it wasn't related.
But they weren't related
I know,
to each
they were
other.
completely
No, but I'm saying that the webbed hands isn't due to the fact they've got a big head.
No, sure.
It's two different things. We're just unlucky.
Yeah.
No, hold on. If they weren't related, and they both had webbed hands and big heads, I'm saying there was a condition that was related that had those two
I don't think there was.
So what do you think the chances of that are? They're not related, and he goes, oh, you got a big head and webbed hands as well. Yeah, just a coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah. I honestly don't think it was related.
Right.
Because I've since seen the same problem again on another kid with a big head. His hands look good.
Right, so you think the big head is just a separate issue?
Yeah, it's a totally different illness. It's like having a headache and a cold at the same time.
Right, sure, not always connected.
But the weird thing is, right, and looking around in the week at weird stuff on the internet, there's this woman who's got a big head.
Oh, yeah.
And, she was fed up with it because when she was walking down the street, it was so big, she couldn't hold it up.
Right.
Right?
She couldn't hold it up.
Oh God! Oh God!
Okay, shut up.
So when she was walking, her eyes were hurting because she had to sort of look up all the time because her head was that heavy. Her chin was sort of balanced on her chest.
Right. And she'd have to peek up, yeah.
So she goes to the doctors, and this was after years and years, and said, you know, I thought I could put up with it, but I can't.
How big was her head?
It's big, Rich.
I don't know if it was like big because there wasn't a picture. I don't know if it was just big or a lot of bone. so it was heavy.
Very heavy.
Right, like the Elephant Man, just outcrops.
Yeah, right. So the doctor said, we can sort that out. But we'll have to take your head off.
Right.
Okay,
listen
keep
to
going.
this. Listen,
keep going.
Because what you don't seem to understand is I have the same reaction to you when I see it.
Yeah.
What?
Right?
You're quizzical yourself.
So, lots of it. They took her head off, chipped away a bit of the bone, made her head lighter, put it back on.
Right, play the Smiths.
They took a woman's head off.
Yeah, this is asked by the Smiths.
And if you'd like to ask Carl something, details coming up soon.
Ask by the Smiths on XFM 104.9. So, what's the email, Carl? If people want to ask you something, a problem, they've got a problem to solve. It can be anything. It could be a personal problem. It could be a scenario. It could be about war. It can be anything. But
Or it could be more flippant, I suppose, and light-hearted.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, but I prefer stuff that I could
So you can get your teeth into.
and actually, sort out.
What, like war?
War is it's a bit big for me, that one.
Do you think?
I don't want to get into that.
What do you mean? If Tony Blair came to you and he went, Carl, listen, I'm having a bit of trouble here. I don't know what to do. I've tried everything. I've tried spin. I've tried being tough. I've tried backing down. I've tried getting other countries involved. They don't want to know. What do I do? What do I do? You don't know?
Tricky one.
It's a tricky one, yeah.
I don't worry about it. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just get in the bath, put a mattress on top of you. That's it.
Sorry, why are you doing that?
Ooh, slow down.
Why are you doing that?
That's what they say you do, isn't it? If it kicks off.
If what kicks off?
If there's a war and that, you get in the bath, put a mattress on top.
Right. Did they do that in the Second World War for 6 years?
Was that making bunk beds?
That's what I read somewhere.
Yeah.
Is the bath full of water?
No. That'd be daft.
Okay.
I think they were enamel baths then, though. I think they'd stop a bit of shrapnel. I think the plastic ones you get nowadays would probably melt on you. And the mattress, where your dad has cut it in half, all the foam would come out and the springs would get you in the eye.
Oh, talking about me dad. Steve, you'll love this, right?
Go on.
My dad hates being ripped off, right?
Yes, well, no, I can relate to that, that's important.
Hates coming to London now. He always wants me to go and see them rather than come here, because he just thinks London is like a big rip-off. Last time he came, he got annoyed because I bought him a scone and a cup of tea for like 3 of us, and it was £14, and he just was livid. And then we had an argument about that, and then we went to the Millennium Wheel, and I said, do you fancy going on this? He said, oh, alright. And then he saw the price, and it was something like 20 quid or something. And he said, 20 quid to go up in the air to look at stuff that's on the ground. He said, I might as well stay on the ground.
Brilliant.
Right? Thought, good point.
His logic is impeccable.
So anyway, this is going on. Anyway, he spoke to me the other day. I said, how are things? Are they alright? And that? He said, oh, being ripped off. I said, why? He said he ordered, do you know the place where he got a new bed from because he cut the other one off, right? He got this bed out of a catalogue. So he sorted out a payment on the phone. He said, look, you're ripping me off a bit here on the interest thing, but, well, let's do a deal. We'll sort out a new monthly payment. That's different to what it says in the catalogue. And he said, yeah, we'll go along with that. Anyway, so he sorted that out. He was happy. The bed arrived. It's a nice bed. He said, that's great. So anyway, he got the bill for it, and it was the original price.
Oh, I thought it might be the case, yeah.
Right? So he called up and said, I'm not happy with this. He said, we said a deal, and like, oh, no, don't know what you're talking about. He said, right, don't send me your catalogues anymore. He said, I'm not buying anything from you. You're a rip-off merchant. Right? So anyway, few weeks go by. Post comes. Only another catalogue in the post.
He's livid.
Right? So he was well annoyed.
Yeah. So
he looked on the back, and it said on it, this catalogue will always be property of, the company that does it. So you can't throw it away. If we request to have it back, we've got the permission to get it back off you. Right? So he thought, right, well, they're out of order. I told them not to send me one, and they have done, and they're saying I can't chuck it away. So he called them up and said, alright, Mr. Pilkington here, bought a bed off you, you conned me, and that. But, forget that. We've dealt with that. You've sent me a catalogue, I told you not to. It says on the back here that this will always be yours. Yeah? So, in a way, you're using my house as a warehouse. I'll be charging you 26 pence or something a day.
Brilliant.
He said, you already owe me £6.28. Something like that.
Genius.
And, sorted it out. So again, it's just...
So hang on, but are they going along with this?
I don't know what happened. He said they sounded annoyed and said they'd get back to him, and they haven't. But he said, I'm not bothered. They can take as long as they want because the money just keeps going up.
Yeah.
So-
What sort of profit has he made so far?
Well, when I spoke to him in the week, it was like £6 odd.
Yeah.
I think that was on Tuesday. So he's just leaving it. It's like an
laughing.
investment.
Yeah. It's like an antique. He's
It's
bought.
just,
Yeah.
it's just going up every day. So,
Well, keep us posted on that. That's
Yeah,
dynamite. One day we need to speak to your father.
Yeah, I think so.
So many questions
I think
need to
we
be
do.
asked of him.
But I might sit and give you a letter to take home.
Yeah.
Dear Mr. Pilkington, your son Carl.
New single from Nick Cave, I think.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you should say that, right? Because I went to a market at one point just to look at the things that were for sale there. There's lots of eels and lots of fish, lots of other interesting items, right? So I'm looking at the market, I'm taking some photos, and I noticed this, I hear this kind of murmur, right, that's going around the market, and then I start to see them, all the people in the market, sort of pointing, right, and staring and talking at something, right? So I'm looking around, trying to figure out what it is, right? And I realise they're looking and pointing at me. I genuinely swear to God, right? So they start, and then,
Did they think one of the big eels had escaped?
well, they started laughing.
Oh no.
They started openly pointing and laughing. One of them, right, started, like, I think he was a postman. He looked like he might be a Vietnamese postman. I don't know why that should make any difference, but he started doing a sort of lumbering, sort of Frankenstein walk. And pointing at me, right? A whole section of them just started cackling with laughter. And then at one point, a woman in one of those sort of Vietnamese lampshade hats, right? She runs up behind me and she attaches to my back a sort of kick me thing that you would have attached to some nerd at school's back, right? She actually put something like that on my back. I don't realise initially, so they're just chortling. They are weeping by now, and I'm talking like the whole market is in hysterics. And old ladies are coming up to me and just, you know, comparing their heights and then giggling, and then I'm sort of trying to get this thing off my back so I look like a dog, you know, chasing its tail. And I just realised that this entire marketplace was just openly laughing at me. And what angered me, Rick, was that I've spent a lot of time in this country, in the UK, right, building up a career, right, so that people don't laugh at me, right? They respect me. They see me as a man of great accomplishments and achievements. I go to another country where
With that hat,
exactly.
walking around with those glasses with a little money belt on, maybe sandals.
Sandals with socks because I got a foot infection. And it turns out that they're just laughing at me, just openly mocking and laughing at me, right? So I just genuinely, I got upset and I got
You threw down your cagoule, left your clogs behind, and got on the first plane back.
I hopped in a rickshaw straight back to the hotel where they do not laugh at me openly. But anyway, just to return to the dong issue, right, this is what worried me, was that, obviously you got a tip, so we had a driver for a few days, right, and you got to leave him a tip. And I never will feel a bit awkward, when do you give him the tip and everything, how does it work? And so I didn't know how much it should be, and I was thinking, well, you know, it's a poor country, I've had a driver a couple of days, you know, I haven't paid for the driver, so I'll give him like $20, right, which is like 10 quid, you know, I'm thinking that seems like a good tip. I get in there, I read in the guidebook, I should have only given him $2. I gave him 20. Well, now because A, you don't want to upset the precious equilibrium. You don't want to upset the financial equilibrium because he might have gone berserk.
Yeah.
I mean, that's $20 is a lot to him. He might have left his family, you know, bought a different, you know, corrugated iron shack
What
somewhere
if he
else.
turned up with a hat like yours and said,
Exactly, we're
"Let's
mates
go-
now, aren't we?
We're mates now, let's go
Yeah.
back to England."
Let's pick up some ladies. So I was a bit worried. So I was thinking of asking for the money, you know, for some change, but I didn't think that was appropriate. So, but then I was worried because then I was thinking, what if all the other drivers within his organisation find out that I've given him like $20? They're all going to be expecting a big tip.
Yeah.
So that was a big worry. But more than that, we'd also had a guide with us, so he was bound to find out how that things. Right now, I didn't have any dollars left, and I thought, well, I've given that guy 20. I got to give the guy who's been talking English to us, showing us around, helping us out. I got to give him even
50.
more. Right, I ended up giving him $1 million.
And how much is that?
$63. I tipped someone $1 million.
So he's a millionaire now.
Yeah, I made someone a millionaire through my generosity.
Well, so did I. He's sitting over there.
That's absolutely
But he
right.
doesn't want to give anything back. So I know how you feel, mate. Young, old man. Carl. Now, you know, traditionally at the zoo, they have to dart a dangerous animal, a lion or a gorilla or whatever.
what?
They have to dart it,
Oh yeah.
right,
Yeah.
to take blood samples and check its health and stuff. So it's very stressful for the animal and quite dangerous to give it an anaesthetic like that. So what they've started doing now, there's a bug, right, like a type of beetle, and it's a bloodsucker,
It's a little vampire bug. Okay, it's about 3 centimeters long. What they do is they tie a piece of string around it. They let it go into the cage on the chimp. It sucks the chimp's blood without the chimp even knowing. They pull it back, and they take the blood sample from it.
They've taught it to do that.
Well, they're not taught it to do anything. That's its nature. You put it near a warm-blooded mammal, it will suck its blood. So they've just tied a string to it so they can get it back.
And how often does it have to do that a day?
Well, I don't know. Why are these the important questions? Just because, isn't that incredible that they've got this amazing symbiotic relationship with a bug? Because that's
Is it the same one? Say if there's 8 chimps.
Oh, jeez, Carl, listen to me.
No, let him. I want to.
I'm just saying, if there's 8 chimps in there,
Yeah,
1 beetle.
yeah.
By about number 5, that's going to be sick of eating.
Well, then they probably have different beetles, and they let it. And Carl, I don't know why this is the.
I'll tell you why it annoys
the
me.
avenue
Because
of questioning.
it annoys him.
the other concern is that beetle. It might be enjoying, getting the blood and what have you. What happens if one of them's got AIDS?
What, one of the.
One of the chimps. That's where it came from. So say if there's
Well, then they know, and they say, oh, this chimp's got AIDS. Let's.
And what about the beetle?
What, you're saying you're worried that the beetle will contract AIDS?
Well, I don't know if that's how it works, but all I'm saying is, you get a dirty chimp in there. It's got a touch of that, and the beetle gets it. And all I'm saying is, it seems a bit unfair.
What are you worried about the beetle? Working hard. It's eating what
Because
it likes.
this is the same as getting in foreigners to make cheap trainers. To me, they let the beetle do what it wants. I mean, how long do they live? I read the other day about some elephant beetle. They get about 4 months.
Right.
What do you think of this? Right, this elephant beetle in the paper the other day.
Yeah.
About the size of a gerbil.
Right.
Massive. Odd-looking thing.
Mm.
The bigger, the uglier it is.
Why are you looking at me?
No. In a way, that is the way it works, isn't it? I think size is a big deal, isn't it? In a way, because
This is interesting.
well, we better being smaller, aren't we?
Well, it depends.
What do you mean?
Well, no, if you're afloat in the Atlantic Ocean and it's 4 degrees centigrade, it'd be better to be fat.
I didn't really mean like that. I just meant in terms of, like, Steve, I've mentioned he's taller than us.
Yeah.
He's always ill.
Well, that's nothing to do with his height.
I just think bigger people, it's like that Zhang Lung or whatever, the world's tallest man. He's always sneezing and that. He's always got something up with him because he's not meant to be that big. Small fellas, you never see a midget in a doctor's waiting room. They never get ill, do they? You never see one getting run over because they're too small, so you don't hit them. So it's. I think size. If you're too big,
You never see a midget in a doctor's waiting room.
so the
Well,
thing,
maybe they're there.
no, they're not. They're not. So what I'm saying to you is, this beetle that's massive, size of a gerbil.
Yeah, but it's still. But a gerbil's small. What do you mean?
No, this is a big one.
This beetle is massive. It lives 4 months.
Lives 4 months. Been found in a banana crate. Right.
Right.
It's over here. They're upset for it because it's been in this banana crate for, it could be like 3 months. And the whole purpose of the elephant beetle is to have it away. That's all it wants in its life. It's only got 4 months and it loves having it away with another beetle. And it hasn't had it. So they found it in this crate and it looked distraught. They said it was showing all signs of, like, desperately wanting to have it away. It was
Well, when you can wank yourself to death with 6 legs, you leave anything alone for 3 months in a dark crate.
Just eating a load of bananas.
Yeah, eating bananas and whacking away
well, anyway.
6 times at exactly the same moment.
Its feet go, apparently.
I bet it does.
What do you mean its feet go?
That's a sign. When they got it out, they were they got the experts in. They said, "What is this? We've got a beetle here the size of a gerbil." They said, "We'll come round." They had a look.
I'd say, well, how big's the gerbil?
That's just scientists HQ. There's a hotline you can phone
come
up.
round. Right, you'll need a gerbil-sized box to bring that round in. Come round. Ring operator. Can I have people in charge of giant gerbil beetles? I'll put you through. Hello, gerbil beetle people. I think I've got one. Come round.
Anyway, its feet were going.
What do you mean its feet were going? Do you mean it was dancing like Lionel Blair, or it had bunions?
I haven't seen one, but
There's a surprise.
I just read that that they were saying, yeah, we know what's the problem here. Look at its legs go, and they go up and down a lot, and it means that it wants like a partner. dying for it. And they were saying they only lived 4 months, and it looks about 3.5 months old, this one.
How did they tell that?
The problem is, they haven't got any of these beetles here.
Right.
So they've had to, instead of flying it back out,
Yeah.
they've gone over there to try and find one to bring it back. Because of the stress and that it's had, and it's older.
Couldn't you put a gerbil in a beetle outfit?
Hang on a minute.
I don't mean a little wig holding a guitar.
Well, I don't know the full story in that. I just know that they found this beetle.
It just sounds unlikely that people would be this concerned about
I
one
agree.
beetle, and it's only got half a month left. It's got 2 weeks left. It's got to have some sex. We have got to give this beetle some sex because, god damn it, it's a beetle. What was found on a boat with some bananas?
I don't
it deserves
know why,
sex before it dies.
I don't know why he cares more than a blood-sucking beetle than a chimpanzee.
I just can't
suddenly.
believe people are flying out to Japan or
Why
wherever
do
they
you
come
care so much about beetles all of a sudden?
Only because they were mentioned, and I just thought, whilst we're on the beetle tip, let's discuss them.
Absolutely.
Stone Roses on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant.
Hello there.
And Karl Pilkington for the last time,
Indeed.
I'm afraid.
Yes.
So, we're gonna have a little bit of a chat. We're sewing up some things with Karl.
Indeed.
We're giving away that prize, that BAFTA bag, and,
Playing some great music.
and we're just, I'm bringing in my favourite tunes. I'm bringing the Smiths, Radiohead, Cat Stevens, David Bowie, Neil Young, the classics. Steve's doing the same.
Indeed.
Well, Karl, the last time for, apparently, someone's got it a bit wrong. We're not actually away for 6 weeks. We're away for about, we'll be back in, August, won't we?
Bloody hell.
Yeah. No, don't swear.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
On the last show, you have to say that.
Already brought the tone down.
Yeah.
Cheapened it,
And I think it's blasphemous as well.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, hell isn't, is it?
isn't it?
No, I don't think that's not blasphemy, is it?
Taking hell's name in vain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what was it you were saying the other week about the Queen Mum used to have the right mouth on her?
What?
I don't think we said that on air, Carl.
What?
No, but last week you were saying about bad language, and I was saying, there'll come a time when bad language isn't, doesn't matter anymore. You can F and Jeff and stuff.
Oh, I know what he's talking about, Steve.
Really?
Right, let me explain to you, the listener at home. Karl was worried about swearing, and as a joke, off air, it was last week, we were saying that in the 1940s and 50s, the Queen Mum used to say things like, and we were quoting things she'd said, like, but putting F's and C's in there, and you believed us.
What, so this whole week you've believed that we somehow had knowledge that the Queen Mum used to swear like a trooper?
We were doing fake quotes from her in her voice, but putting in F's and C's, and you believed us. I mean, I didn't even think, I thought you were going along with a joke, but it obviously made an impact.
Carl, we've said this, you've got to question and query everything. You can't take things at face value, certainly not if they come out of the mouths of Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, sorry about that, Karl. It was a little trick.
Is there any other things now that, as
Is
you
there
look back
anything
over
we've
the
said that
time
you've been
we've
thinking
played
about
with
that I
us?
can tell you now that was a lie?
Anything you've maybe queried or questioned, you've thought, that doesn't seem right, that maybe Ricky's told you?
Something might come to me
Okay.
later on, but
Okay. Well, what about Karl? I mean, we love you, right? Obviously, we know that. We've got great affection for you. We look forward to this. I'm going to miss you, really. And I'll tell you what, you've got a heart of gold. Now, wait till you see what the record is, Steve. You'll see what I've done.
Is it a heart of gold?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Alright, that's why he's a bronze award winner at the Sonys.
I don't get up for bronze. I don't get out of bed for bronze.
No, that's a waste of our time.
Karl Pilkington over there on XFM 104.9. Winner of a bronze award
At the
Sonys
Sony Radio Awards.
The Radio Oscars. So
Man
Phil
alive.
Jupiter said. That's what he called them on Liquid News.
I'll tell you this, Rick, I'm not used to being on a table with losers at an award ceremony.
No, I don't. I'm glad I didn't want to come in to do the final show.
No.
I went straight over and sat with Pete and Jeff, didn't I?
Yeah. I went over to
Radio
the,
4. I went over with Paul Gambaccini.
I went over to
That's it.
BBC World Service.
Yeah.
It's a lot funkier. A lot cooler.
Won an award.
Yeah,
won an
they
award.
swept the boards.
Yeah. I don't. Bronze is nowhere.
What was the mood? What was the mood here?
Silver's. What was the mood here?
Because the day after, because people were, let me tell you that, I think XFM deserved an award, and I thought it was criminal, actually.
But what I did like about that we certainly had the room, because Pete and Jeff said good luck to us and Christian. That was really nice. And then someone else mentioned it.
James Nesbitt.
James Nesbitt said XFM and stuff. So it certainly had the.
Genie said something about it.
Yeah, so it certainly, it certainly had the room. And for a local, you've got to realise it's a local radio station, you know, and it can't compete really with Radio 2 and Radio 4.
But what was the mood the day after here at XFM?
It was alright. I mean, I think we expected a few more,
But you shouldn't take these things seriously anyway.
But what I didn't
never
realise,
take
Rick,
awards seriously.
But what I didn't realise is you have to pay thousands of pounds just to nominate. Just to get into the running for an award. So you've already, you know, they've squandered thousands of pounds.
No, it's not thousands, is it?
Well, it mounts up because you pay to enter.
And then the table.
You've got to buy, like, mini discs and that to send your stuff in on.
Sure.
Which ends up with Sony mini discs.
Oh, I see what you're saying, Carl.
I'm not saying anything.
No.
And also then you've got to pay for the table.
Right.
And the food and the drink. I mean, it's a few grand.
I swore on live television as well that night.
Yeah.
But I've never done that before. I mean, I've sworn before, but never accidentally. And we were being interviewed for, and Christian was sort of like, quite, you know, being a bit boisterous, and he must have brought out the worst in me, and I just accidentally said the F word, and I apologised straight away. I didn't want to embarrass Phil Dupas. He was doing a good job.
He does that himself, yeah.
but I was thinking about yesterday, and you're saying a bronze isn't worth having, right?
Yeah.
But, say like...
We're only joking, none of them are worth having, but they're very nice. They're very nice to win.
Bronze is pointless.
But you say that, because, like, bronze is like coming last, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the name of the person who won the marathon this year? No?
Yeah, but that's because we're not sporty.
Well,
I'm sure there's lots that can.
But then, the guy who came last, who was in the swimsuit, people remember him. And
No, I don't remember his name either.
No, what's his name?
No, but he was 6 days late. I mean, he was really
Yeah, but
bad.
what's his name then?
You see, no one's remembering either.
No, but if someone said who won the marathon, I'd go, I don't know, but there was that guy in the swimsuit.
Well, I'd say, I don't know, it was a woman.
Yeah.
She had shorts on and trainers.
I'm just trying to make...
My point is, what they will remember is that we were losers. That's what they remember. They may not remember our names.
Yeah.
They'll just point and shout losers.
We're all winners, aren't we? We're all winners, really.
For taking part, sure.
Yeah.
And it's all subjective as well, isn't it?
Go on.
I mean, I'm not going to moan about awards because you've won a lot of them. It's like saying they don't mean jack. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, right, there's some shows that won awards and you go, yeah, that's, you know, that's worth an award.
I think you've got to treat it. I mean, some awards actually boost your profile or career or your cachet or everything like that. Some it's just a nice night out when it's nice to win, but I don't think you should really take any award that seriously.
What worries me though, Rick, as I mentioned on the night, is that when I was at school, I mean, you look at me now, you probably think he's an athletic kind of guy, he's a sporty dude, you know, but at school, bizarrely, that was not the case.
No, what were you, a bit of a lanky beanpole?
It turns out,
You're joking.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
So, but yeah, I got a silver, in the high jump.
Yeah.
And I've done better in the high jump, right? Did no training whatsoever, did no practice, just turned up.
You were 2.5 foot taller than every other person in your class.
Yeah, but wait a minute, people think that if you're tall, that makes you easier, it makes it easier for you to do the high jump. Surely not, because I've got all that leg to get over the pole. That makes it harder for me, surely.
Don't talk rubbish.
What are you talking about?
Well, of course, the taller you are, the more chance you got at the high jump.
What, explain that to me.
being equal. Oh, what? Are you okay then? So, is it harder for a 6-foot man to step over a matchbox or a baby midget?
A baby midget? That is tiny, Rick.
Hang on. Here's something I've learned, remember?
Go on.
Back to, like, show 4 or whatever.
Go on.
What is it?
For?
The flea can jump over the London Eye.
No! No, it can jump the equivalent of, if it was a 6-foot man, it can jump about 6 inches high. A flea cannot jump over the London Eye.
Yes, it can. Yeah, it can.
And
Tell your kids that.
God. Oh.
Remember.
Oh, a flea can jump over the London Eye. And an ant can lift 3 Volvos.
But you're talking about fitness people and that. Remember
Go on.
when we were in the pub, right?
Yeah.
And your mate Johnny was in there.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And he was talking about that guy who got done, right? Because he entered a wheelchair race.
Yeah.
And there was nothing wrong with him. His legs were all right.
Yeah.
Now, he got done because he shouldn't have been involved in it.
Yeah.
But don't you think that really he's really good for doing that? Because he's not normally in a wheelchair.
Sure.
So he's not used to how they move about.
Yeah.
His arms aren't as strong as the other fellas who are always in the wheelchair.
Sure. He had his mate pushing him, that was the problem.
Yeah, it was motorised.
I'd give him a gold plus. You know, you're taking a bloke who's not used to doing something. He does it the first time and beats the people who are at it.
What about that woman, though, that was disqualified in the shooting, because she was in a wheelchair, and she was just in the normal, able-bodied Olympics, it was just, she entered, right? But she wasn't allowed to rest her elbow on the arm of her chair. Because that was at disadvantage. She was in a wheelchair and she's shooting, but she was getting unfair advantage. And they said you cannot put your elbow on the arm of your
Sneaky,
wheelchair.
aren't they? No, they are. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful.
Do you want to play
Some of them aren't even disabled, it turns out.
Hold on though, we're talking about athletes, aren't we? What record should we play next?
I'd love to hear that single that was out a couple of months back by Athlete. Let's have Athlete. Man alive. West Side by Athlete, a track that I know you and I have enjoyed.
Yeah, it was one of our favourite new
over the last
tracks of the
6
year, that
months.
one. Yeah,
Absolutely.
very good. More of our favourite tracks to come on XFM 104.9.
You know,
me, Ricky
mentioning
Gervais, and you,
Steve Merchant,
and
Carl Pilkington.
sure, go on.
You know, I was mentioning
Shoot.
the high jump. That
Yeah.
high jump. Do you know the reason I didn't get the gold? It's faintly embarrassing because the guy it was just neck and neck, me and another guy. In fact, he was slightly shorter than I was, and I was using the traditional Fosby flop. Is it the Fosby flop?
Fosby flop.
And he was using a method which I can only describe as the Superman, where he was running at the bar and diving headfirst over it. I've never seen this technique before.
It's illegal, that's why.
incredible. Is it not
Yeah.
allowed?
The Fosby flop only works because his shoulder and are going over before his head.
Right.
That's they got around the rule. You weren't allowed to dive over because it was too
Obviously,
easy.
no one monitoring that.
Yeah, no
Just the
one
games
knows.
teachers having a quick fag.
Yeah, yeah. What was his name again?
Yeah.
The fag.
I think his name was Mr. Woodbine. Anyway, so he's using this method, right, and it gets neck and neck, and I don't know how many chances you get to knock down the bar, but anyway, it got to the point where basically I had to get over the bar, or I was going to come second.
Sure.
And I decided at that point to use his method. Because he'd seemed to be doing so well with it, I thought, well, I'll try that then. That looks easy.
Oh, dear.
And ran at the bar, launched, didn't actually get my feet off the ground, just hit the bar like I was someone finishing a race, you know. going to
Did
the finishing
you
line. It
have...
was so pathetic, just
I just
clattered everywhere.
I just want to get this picture of you at the age of, what, 15, 16?
Yeah.
6'5" already, probably?
probably, yeah.
Probably, what, about 9 stone?
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you have your glasses on?
Of course I did.
You must have looked pretty
And
sexy.
probably a small bum fluff tash.
Yeah.